I think we'll just drive it off the rest of the way. You know. Good morning. It is another day of working in the shop, and we are working on the world's largest off-road wrecker, and we have a list. Check out this list. O2 sensor bung, air pump filter relocation, battery cover. This one's already done. I don't even know what that was. Insulation, undercoat, heat shielding under the cab, front wheel drive shifter, all the breathers for the new gearboxes. I need to change the gas cap to a different style. Transmission temperature sensor. We need to get the drive shafts measured and ordered.
Colin, what are you up to?
Building an additional support for the transfer case.
All right, here we go. This is the mount we built last week, and I think it's good enough, but it might not be. So I'm gonna add an additional support under here. So since it's already located, this one doesn't even need to bolt in. It just needs to bolt to the adapter here, and then sandwich some rubber. I'll show you what it'll do there somewhere. Let me show you. So then it'll just set on these rubber pucks, and we'll just put a little pin in place so they don't slide out, and it's literally just helping hold up. The transmission mount, the transfer case mount, they don't do any of the the torsional holding of the drivetrain. That's all handled by these ones up front here. So all we need is support. So that's what we're gonna give it. I'm gonna go try to find a bung for the O2 sensor, so come with me. On the way out here, I noticed the chop saw here on the ground. It's actually a cold cut saw. We get a ton of comments. Why don't you put that up on a table so that you can use it? And I don't know how big your shop is. My shop's not very big. So I can't I don't have the space to put a table that can handle 20-foot stock. So you can see up on top of here, this is our 20-foot stock. There's always a place on the ground to cut that up, so that's how we do it. And I hope you're okay with that. All right. So somewhere out here is a container full of gas hose. All right, well, that was fruitless. Can't find them. Pretty sure we had them, but time to order another one.
Those are too big and don't fit in there. That one's 4 inches. This one's 3 7/8.
We need to cut them down to the right length. So you're gonna cut it on that thread right there. So weld those in good and then cut those rolled off. And then we'll tack it together gently and go see if it fits.
Okay. We're still just figuring this out. This is all in my dad's mind, and I'm trying to read his mind, but it's gonna look something like this with another bung right here. I think I just gotta weld this to this now, and then we're gonna be gold. Straight enough. Okay, all this is done, but my dad is off to a very important meeting. I can't put this in until he's back, so we're on to bigger and better things. I got these cut off. He wanted these shortened. They're all nice, clean. Nobody's gonna get cut. The next thing he wanted me to do was build some heat shields for up here so we don't burn our feet when we're driving. So we're gonna do that next. All right, I got my piece cut out from my cardboard for the heat shielding, and it's gonna sit right here, just like that. This edge is a little ski-wampus, but I'll fix that when I cut it out. It doesn't cover up the drain holes. I like that. And then I can cut another piece that'll just match the other side. So we'll have 2 pieces, and we're done. Yeah. Let's see if that did it. That's perfect. I gotta make one more of these, and then we gotta make the front ones that go right here.
So I was put in charge of building a cover right here, and why do we need a cover there? I'll show you. This one's our airbags, and this one's our lockers. So we need to keep those safe from this tire. And that's where this cover comes in. It's not quite finished yet. I still got a little bit more adjusting to make it look right, but it's coming along nicely.
Like it. Beautiful. Now we just got the 2 front panels to do, and we're done.
All right, how's this looking?
Good.
Let's see what you got here.
I'll show you.
You show me. Oh, look at that thing. That looks good. Yeah, that'll work. I think what we'll do is we'll just set that in light stuff, and then when we tighten these up, it'll push hard down on that.
I was thinking of just drilling holes right here, putting a nut on top of this piece, welding it, and then you can just put a bolt on and a bolt on.
We're not even gonna need it.
Okay.
If you just over bend these a little bit, like this one is barely, then it'll come up. This is thick stuff. Let's talk about lockers on the wrecker. There has been a lot of confusion and misinformation. We're gonna clear that up right now. So these axles are Axletech 4000s, and they come from the manufacturer with an air locker, which is right there. So these axles are unique in the fact that nobody builds lockers for these. There's no aftermarket locker. In fact, you can't even tear the center section apart because it's welded together instead of bolted together. So you can take it off on a big lathe, but that's neither here nor there. So these come with very robust air lockers. When we got the truck together for the first time, some of these plastic lines were too close to the exhaust and they melted, and we lost our locker function. Shortly thereafter, I bypassed all that and had it plumbed directly into the air tank. Not all of my crew knew that the lockers worked by turning on the air compressor. I don't know how they missed it, but they did. And so the myth got perpetuated by my own crew that the lockers on the wrecker didn't work. They weren't the easiest to use because you'd have to come out and shut this valve, turn the air compressor on. As soon as the pressure reached a certain amount, front and rear lockers were on. To turn the lockers off, you turn the compressor off, open this valve, bleed the air off, and the lockers would disengage. Well, those days are over. Look at this. So one of these goes to the lockers, and one of them goes to the airbag. So we're getting our airbag function back too. Like I said, we are making some progress.
You know when you make something so nice it just fits in there really nice, and you go to finish stuff that shouldn't change the shape of it, but somehow it doesn't fit after you do that?
Still not fitting?
No.
Let's see how it fits.
It doesn't.
It did fit really nicely in here. Also, I know it doesn't need to come clear to here, but it looks goofy if it's just stopped right here. So that's why I made it.
All you gotta do is trim that right there.
I've been trimming it, but it's getting too thin, so.
I wouldn't even put these ends on it. Cut these ends off of it.
I was just told to make it enclosed.
Doesn't need to be enclosed.
Okay.
It's just covering it from the sun.
Oh.
So just and from getting snagged and stuff. You might want to start from a new piece.
Nope.
All right.
I'm making this one look nice.
Last week we did a crazy job up on the top of the mountain, the most terrifying, difficult job I've ever done. On that particular job, the winch on the MORR, the original winch that we put on, it didn't give out on us, but it was showing signs of not working. Specifically, there was no braking action when you stopped winching. So if you were pulling on something really hard, you'd pull it in, and as soon as you turn it off, it would start to go out. It looks like the abuse that I laid down on this particular winch, year after year, has finally paid off. This fine winch died in the line of duty. When you install a winch on your vehicle, it is very important that you treat that winch with respect. You're supposed to give them a rest so you don't overheat it. You are never supposed to tow with a winch. So this is all my fault. But amidst all this sadness, there is joy. And let me show you what that looks like. The new winch is going right there, and once more, the MORR will be whole. In a world where summer turns to fall, fall turns to winter, and winter brings snow. When a cry for help rings through the frigid wasteland, there is but one beast to heed the call. The Bombi, forged in a literal forge. But seriously, it was forged, like in a forge. Custom built for the impossible, engineered for the win, assembled in Utah. The Bombi long sleeve t-shirt, available now. Custom artwork captures the beast in its element, doing what it does best. If you're into fashion, and I know you are, you're gonna wanna wear the Bombi. Because it ain't got no in its heart. Because some legends are born to be worn. Get yours now at mattsoffroadrecovery.com.
All right, I think I got it done. How's that look?
That'll be fine.
You want it painted black?
No, I want it rest to rest.
Okay.
Bolted
Ready?
up, time to put these in. If you smash my fingers, I want a Dairy Queen ice cream.
Is that high enough?
Yep, that one's in.
Okay. The other one's gonna come in from this side.
Okay, when you set that down, it's gonna pop on it. There it is.
All right, we've got all the mounts on here. It's bolted in, secured, and supported. Let's move on to the next thing. These are the mufflers we decided on. This is a Super 44, Flowmaster Super 44. It has an offset inlet and an offset outlet on the same side, which is exactly what we need. Look how good this fits. So I've just got to get that connected. It's going to be spicy, but we'll get it. Do not burn me or shock me. I will be so mad.
Oh, he will be so mad.
I'm gonna go work on the other side, get it set up. I call him welds up this side. We'll take it to there. A lot has happened since we filmed last. This happened, and I'm very embarrassed about it. But enough about that for now. We've been working on the heat shields and getting the exhaust out. This exhaust is done. Where's it at? Right there. Look at that. Look how good that looks. And it bolts right in there, uses the original hangers. It's gonna be good. All right, I'll tell you what I did. Should we reenact it?
Yeah.
Yeah, come over here, let me show you how I did it. Some of you know this, some of you don't. We use butcher trimmings. We have a freezer full of butcher trimmings for the dogs, right here. Look in there. So that's why our dogs are so healthy. And they get the bones too, and that's why whenever they go to the vet for their checkup, the vet's like, your dogs have amazing teeth. Come here, pups. So we have these three lovely dogs here. Come here. For some reason, when we're filming, they know something's up. I don't know why. So we got these three good dogs. We got Peanut, we have Lady, we have Max. Max is a good old dog. He's 13 or 14 years old. I don't know for sure because we got him when he was when he was full grown. Lady's not too far behind him, but they're in good shape for old dogs. So last night, I set a chunk of meat on the ground right here, and I was hacking on it with this hammer to break it up, because that's what I do. Done it 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, and I was pushing down on it hard, and it slipped like that, and my thumb went like that, and I went right through my thumb, right through it, all the way through the and see this divot right here? Look at this divot. That's where it went through my thumb and into the concrete right there. Ed was standing right here, and Ed was like, oh, you didn't just do that, did you? Anyway, I held it up, Colin came running over. That's what I did. So I've got a whole bunch of stitches. If you can imagine, they go all the way around here, all the way around there.
Don't worry, guys. I documented it perfectly. There's pictures of it.
We can't show them here because we'll get demonetized.
Well, look out for on Instagram.
Check out my eBay listings.
Oh man, today we've got a full shop. We got Doug and Jake out there making heat shields and messing around with stainless, and we're in here still welding. Yesterday, that's all we did. We just welded exhaust all day, and it's so intricate. He's a genius.
What?
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 Intricate, not the right word? I like the word intricate.
That's a nice heat shield. Man, it's times like these when I really appreciate opposable thumbs. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Oh, look at that.
Caitlin,
Yep.
what's the only thing you can put in a bucket that will actually make it lighter?
Helium? I don't know, something like super light, dense air base?
No.
I'm gonna say that makes it lighter. A hole.
A hole, yeah, you can put a hole in the bucket, that'll make it lighter. What are you talking about, dumb? I guess when you put helium in a bucket, it might be lighter, I don't know.
It would have to be upside down.
3 for 3.
Nice. Your micrometer's on.
I need a witness. Did I eyeball those? Freehand them and get them right?
You sure did.
Matt, why don't you use precision? Don't have to. So here's a little window into why I do what I do. So it took me less time to guess the holes and then modify one of the holes than it would have taken me to measure correctly, plot it all out, and drill them correct in the first place. So you see I made 2 of these. The first one I got lucky, I hit all 3. The second one I hit 2 out of 3. It took me 20 or 30 extra seconds to modify this hole. I'm ahead of the game, and so should you. Matt's off-road games are a month away. Do you know where your kids are?
I'm up here, you morons!
The jalopy competition is shaping up, and ooh, it's gonna be a battle.
Biggest name in off-road YouTubers will be battling to the death. Matt's working on his rig.
And Dave Chappelle's working on his.
And we've been working on Eric's.
We also have
The Brothers Peck. Rory and his mad scientists have been working on their rig. Who knows what the heck Robbie's doing?
Yes! I love that. And Colt's been out testing his rig.
I don't think Rudy started, but I'm sure he'll pull something out of his hat.
He always does.
I don't know what the rest of these guys are doing. I've been practicing all my life.
Whoa! Whoa! You're fine! Hang on! Hang on!
Get your tickets now at mattsoffroadgames.com.
Are you okay?
better have gotten that on video!
Jake, are you ready to weld these on? You ready to do some
I want to do some welding. Heck yeah.
beautiful welding? Okay, so that's one of them right there.
Oh, nice.
So you have to fill in that weld, fill in that weld, and then, so we're probably gonna wanna smooth that flat so that this lays nice. But I'll help you get it in place.
My man.
And then this one goes right here, the exact same thing. And what's gonna happen is hose clamps are gonna go behind these,
Oh, yeah?
and these.
Oh, the
hose
breather
clamps
tanks?
hose clamps just go around this one
Heck yeah.
and around this one.
Oh, that's a custom setup right
So
there.
something that we found when we're driving this thing on the highway, we were losing fluid out the vent on this. And I don't know if we're gonna lose it out of this or not, because there's violence going on in there. So we're gonna put these cat cans that also drain back so they can vent, and then when they cool off, they'll suck the fluid back in. Okay, now just that same 1 inch down each side. That's quite the heat shields. We just got back from lunch, got back on the wrecker, and then Rudy showed up to pick up the Rudicon.
That's right.
So Brian from Viking Motorsports was nice enough to haul the Rudicon all the way back from King of the Hammers, and we got to figure out how to get it off of here.
Things are gonna get interesting, that's for sure.
I think we'll pick it up from the... It'll set on the ground. Okay, ready in reverse? Okay, back up. Turn your wheel hard right, Rudy. Hard left, I mean.
This is how I die.
No, it actually looks really good.
Yeah. So good. Repo down. It's way too high. You're way too high. Ah, there. Let it down. Back up a little bit, Brad. You want to drive off the way? I think you could. It's up to you. Down, man.
I think we'll just drive it off the rest of the way. You know.
He's driving it off. Here it goes.
Woo! Look at that!
I think that went pretty good. Okay, back to the serious work at hand. Okay, we got the exhaust system and all the heat shielding directly, specifically involved with the exhaust system in place. But Hefe showed up here just in time because we're pushing this out and into another bay because I've got Rhett working on the cover. So come look at this. So we've never finished the cover in here, and like the sun is, you know, it's just damaging, and rain's landing on all this, and plus people are standing on this all the time because they're riding on here. We're not putting seats back here. We're gonna put a platform back here, and we're gonna stack it up with pack outs and the tools that we need to do the work that we do, so that we don't get caught out there in the desert without a jump box and power tools and all that stuff. Anyway, we are moving this whole chassis, rolling chassis mess into the other shop so that Rhett can build these, and then we're gonna start working on the underside of the cab. And like I said, it's gonna take some horsepower. Hefe's here.
I always show up when there's something heavy to move.
Okay, Caitlin, will you put that all back in?
What a mess.
Well, that wasn't too bad.
Well, thanks, Hefe. No problem.
That went a lot better with.
All I did was move tire and carry the top block.
All right, back to the wrecker. So there's been a lot of discussions in the comments about headers versus manifolds. I'm personally a manifold man. Like I'm not a drag racer or any of that stuff. I don't need that extra 10 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. But we had a problem here with cast iron manifolds. This is a Chevy big block. There's a limited amount of factory cast iron manifolds and an even more limited amount of aftermarket cast iron manifolds. And all of them hug the head really close, and then they tuck in really tight down here around the starter. So the dump would be like right here. So that's why I needed these headers. These are Roadster headers because they would get outside the frame. The exhaust is running outside the frame, not inside. That's why we went with these. It's not because I think I'm a race car driver. And no, these aren't chrome. These are stainless steel. But man, they look fast. And then I did mention in the last video that I have the throttle restricted to half throttle. And I thought I explained it in there that we were breaking the transfer case. So I detuned everything so that we could do work without breaking stuff. I'll just make it more clear now. The reason that I limited the throttle to about 50% was because the transfer case wasn't strong enough to handle all the torque this puts out. So this puts out an enormous amount of torque at a very low RPM. So this particular engine is the 8.1. It's the Gen 7, I believe, big block. It's the last one that they made anyway. It's 496 cubic inches. It's making 500 foot-pounds of torque almost from an idle up to about 4,800 RPM or somewhere in that range. When this engine came out, they called it the Duramax killer because in 2003, 2004, this thing towed heavy loads faster than Chevy's diesel offering of that year. So this has all the benefits of the power of a diesel engine with the revving and throttle response of a gasoline engine and the fuel consumption of the space shuttle. So in a nutshell, I've got to add another shifter right here, insulation, heat shield, but I want to put some sort of a bed liner underneath this, probably just bed liner in a can. It's going to be really protected, and I'm hoping that it will work kind of as a glue. I don't know if I'm up in the night or not. This shifter's a problem, always has been. Always will be, I'm afraid. Do you know how, like this has to go like this. I've got it all crammed up in here. This goes like this.
Okay.
It's too long. It needs to go like this. That would be good if it just did that, but it doesn't. Makes me wonder if there's anything a guy could do to make it do better. Don't laugh. What if that was the solution? Now it's not over the drive shaft anymore. I'm gonna think about it.
Any last words?
No, we're gonna clean up the shop floor while I think about what I'm gonna do. We got a lot done on the wrecker this week. I am happy with the amount of work that got done. We're headed in the right direction. We have a plan for the future. This is the next big area for heat and sound control. And we are gonna be moving into the interior at some point. We have done nothing in there, not because we don't know that we should, but because we haven't got to it, but we're moving that direction. Y'all should be cheering. The wrecker's getting done. Thanks for watching. This winch died in the line of duty. Okay. Right, this fine winch died in the line of duty.